I bought this on eBay for $750, currently $100 less than what's listed here. For $750 this is a great laptop, with most games maxing out the 120Hz capability of the screen on high ultra settings, and the speed increase from 60Hz to 120Hz is definitely noticeable. I bought a second 1TB drive, $100, and 16GB, 8GB X2, dual-rank DDR4 3200MHz RAM, which were both plug-and-play without any installation issues. Since the 5 stars speaks for itself for the pros, they'll just list the cons here, which weren't significant enough for me to reduce the rating. The ability to add a second M.2 SI 4.0 SSD is great, but the one I purchased, Samsung 981TB, was supposed to have speeds of 3,500 megabytes per second seek reads and 3,000. This may be due to a Windows 11 bug restricting the speeds, but I'm not sure. Update: it was not Windows 11. I fixed this by installing the proper mounting screw to the laptop's motherboard for the SSD to sit correctly. I'm now getting 3,600 megabytes per second reads and 2,800 megabytes per second writes. Be aware the laptop does not come with a spacer or mounting screw for the second M.2 slot. I bought them separately for $7. It's not the standard size screw either, it requires a smaller diameter screw. Luckily the kit I bought came with both size screws and spacer mounts. The primary M.2 slot where the 512GB SSD sits is a 2242 form factor with no ability to replace it with a 2280 longer form factor. The secondary M.2 allows you to add in a second SI 4.0 M.2 SSD, but doing so will take up the space where the 2.5-inch SATA SSD/HDD slot is, so you can only have either a second M.2 SI drive or a 2.5-inch SATA drive. When I got it the E-key was stiff and not moving, but it still worked, so I did not bother with it. 2 days later it just came out and won't go back, and you can see the key was a defect, so I went online looking for a replacement key and could not find any, so I asked the seller to send me a new E-key. This laptop is great. For only $769 it has amazing features. The screen quality is great and the RTX 3050 Ti runs extremely well. It doesn't overheat much either. It also has the M.2 SSD screws in case you want to add another SSD. I don't like is the delivery company. I was blown away to get a machine with an RTX 3050 and a Ryzen 5600H for under $800. I got mine on Walmart, this exact computer, and it runs like a dream. I play Sea of Thieves with graphics on max regarding texture details. During high action FPS remains around 60 and hums around 100 when not much is happening. It has 2 RAM slots, 1 empty, as well as 2 internal SSD slots, 1 empty, and an HDD slot. They are hidden under a metal shield, so it doesn't appear they are there at first. I added a 16GB card for a total of 24GB RAM, and transferred my 1TB SSD out of my old computer, which takes up the same component space as SSD within the computer, so it's either or, but you'll definitely want to give yourself at least another TB internal storage. It runs graphical operations like CAD and 3D printer slicing very quickly as well. The display is sharp and bright. Audio is pretty loud with stereo speakers at the bottom sides near the front of the laptop, which gives a pretty good surround effect, using the table below to reflect and give the impression of larger speakers. The main downside is no SD card reader and only 2 standard USB ports. It does have a USB-C port, but fewer peripherals use that profile. Click link in description for more reviews.